New York Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau has given a scary update into the injury of OG Anunoby, the best defender on the New York Knicks, who against the Los Angeles Lakers went down with an injury and has many Knicks fans terrified. And this will have huge implications on the New York Knicks and their plans for the NBA trade deadline. And we're going to break all this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. And if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe. If you're part of that 66.6% of subscribers, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want daily New York Knicks news, rumor reports, updates on potential trades, updates on injuries, fun TikToks, and YouTube shorts. If you guys want all that, plus a bunch of cool live streams, make sure to subscribe. But we're here to talk about the New York Knicks. Let's jump right into it. Look, the New York Knicks played the Los Angeles Lakers, and OG Anunoby, the best defender on the New York Knicks, unfortunately went down with a scary injury. It was a non-contact injury, which if you are an NBA fan at all, you would understand. These are terrifying injuries, and New York Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau did give an update on OG Anunoby, who unfortunately, the Knicks' best defender, did go down with a non-contact injury to where he kind of almost fell into LeBron James's arms and made many NBA fans jealous of that. But in all seriousness, it is terrifying that OG went down with a non-contact injury. As anyone who's a New York Knicks fan would say, we understand that OG Anunoby is injury prone. He's dealt with a bunch of injuries throughout his NBA career. We all know he's not going to be able to play 82 games like we all hope out of him, the way we hope out of Mikal Bridges. But it still is always terrifying when it's coming, and OG unfortunately did go down with a scary injury to where there was just zero contact portrayed. If you see that, it's such a terrible look. I don't want to look at it anymore. I really don't want to look at OG deal with that. Look, it's a terrible sign. Tom Thibodeau did speak on it, though, and essentially when he was asked, and shout out to New York Basketball on Twitter or X for providing this, but as asked, he said he hasn't talked to medical yet, and they said he wouldn't be coming back with a sprained foot injury. The x-rays were negative, and if there was a question about an MRI, Tom Thibodeau responded saying, I don't know that. I don't know if he's getting an MRI. We're unclear right now. And if it was bothering him earlier, Tibbs responded with not sure. He went to go get checked for something at the end of the half. OG went down with some sort of foot injury. Now, the feet are weird. It could be something where you just planted wrong. It could be something out of nowhere where it had no effect, and all of a sudden, for some reason, your foot went down with an injury. It could also be due to the minutes that Tom Thibodeau plays him. It's unclear what is the cause, what is the root cause of this injury to OG Anunoby, but there is one thing for sure. This could have massive, massive implications on the New York Knicks. The Knicks, since acquiring OG Anunoby, have been way better with him on the court in comparison when he's not on the court. I mean, and we'll make this bigger, but OG with the New York Knicks is a 52-20 record. The man has been much, much better with the New York Knicks, or the Knicks have been much better with OG than they have been without him. The Knicks traded a lot to get OG Anunoby. They moved RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, their two most coveted young pieces. Both got moved for Anunoby, and it proved to be a success for both teams. The Raptors got to properly tank while developing young talent, one of them being from the Toronto area in RJ Barrett. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks, who got thrusted into win-now mode by signing Jalen Brunson, obviously went for a guy who fit well with the team in OG, who was very good for the Knicks. And for a while, the Knicks would not lose a game with OG Anunoby on the team. And then eventually we get to the playoffs where OG goes up for that layup, unfortunately comes down with the hamstring injury, plays 5 minutes of the game in Game 7 against the Pacers, has 5 points very quickly, but unfortunately could not play further, comes out. The Knicks end up losing in the second round of the playoffs for the second year in a row. Given for Knicks fans out there, it's still better than what we've been witnessing recently. However, obviously, it doesn't make up for the fact that we've seen OG go down with injuries before, and OG signed the biggest contract in New York Knicks history. The man is getting paid over $40 million per year, and to this day, I stand by. It's worth it. Yeah, he's going to miss time. Yeah, he's never going to be a superstar. However, he helps the New York Knicks win games. Jalen Brunson did the strangest thing in the history of basketball and truly in history of sports, and took a massive, massive, massive pay cut with the New York Knicks in order to stay around and help them get talent. People say they do that and they take like $5 million less. And who I'm talking about specifically is my favorite player of all time, Carmelo Anthony, who did take a pay cut with the New York Knicks as well and took $5 million less and $5 million if you make the equivalent to right now, when you look at where the NBA is at, where you look at just the general sense of how contracts work and the salary cap in a general sense, $5 million is more like 13-ish million now. So it is a good amount of money that he took less. But still, no one's been like Jalen Brunson, where you could have waited 1 year, signed a massive 5-year contract. Instead, signs a 4-year contract to where after that's up, he'll be a 10-year NBA veteran, so the Knicks will pay him back and give him a massive contract then as well, because Jalen Brunson, he's not slowing down anytime soon. He's not running out of fuel. But you look at the New York Knicks in a general sense, you see OG's paid this much money. You know he's going to miss time. The New York Knicks are going to be without their best defender, OG Anunoby, for a considerable amount of time. As you can see, the Knicks, they played decently against the Los Angeles Lakers, but the Lakers came in knowing they wanted to make a statement, and the Knicks were not beneficiating at all from that. Meanwhile, LeBron James, without Anthony Davis, and the Los Angeles Lakers just went off against the New York Knicks. But the whole story of the game is just going to be OG. I mean, we're not going to pretend like it's not. I mean, OG, 16.4 points per game this season with 5 rebounds and 2 assists. He's getting 1.5 steals and 1 block per game, being the best defender on the New York Knicks. Meanwhile, shooting 36% from 3, a percentage that has been rising, not riving, or arriving. Neither of those make sense. But it has been rising all season long. OG started very, very cold from 3, but did start to get it together as times went on. 37% on corner threes, which has also been going up. And meanwhile, 48% from the field. Unfortunately, now the Knicks are probably going to be without OG for a considerable amount of time, if we're being honest. Like, there's no way around it. They're going to be without OG for a while, and when something like that happens, what we're going to see is a guy like Josh Hart, who's already playing an insanely heavy amount of minutes, play even more minutes. The man puts up 14 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Had the best game by any New York Knick by a country mile, there's no doubt about it. Josh Hart was awesome tonight, as he usually is. Though he shoots 29% on corner threes, a popular shot within New York Knicks players. Josh Hart's not in the corner basically ever, shooting 55% from the field and 35% from 3 on the season. Josh Hart's he's truly proven himself why he's the third best player on the New York Knicks. He's better than Mikal Bridges. He's better than OG Anunoby. And now we're going to see his minutes increase without OG being there. And it is going to be a scary thing because I think a lot comes from this. One, Josh Hart already plays more minutes than basically anyone. And now it's going to be confirmed that Josh Hart is playing more minutes than basically everyone. And he's going to continue to do it for a very long time now, which is very scary because we need Josh Hart more for the playoffs than we do for the regular season. But here's the thing, guys. The minutes going up is going to be terrible for the New York Knicks. We can't lie. Like, they already play too many minutes. They already play so many, more than any other team. Now Josh Hart is going to get a massive increase. The thing is, OG getting injured now, it's also weirdly better than if he got injured 2 months from now. Just on the tense of, do you really want to see OG get injured 2 months from now and not be fully healthy for the playoffs? This is an injury, and OG, someone who's not new to injuries, now gets to return from in March, probably a lot earlier than March, in fact, but we know he'll be fully healthy by then, and that's going to affect the Knicks a lot. You do wonder what the Knicks are going to do, though, because when everything comes down to it, when we think about everything about the New York Knicks, you have to imagine Leon Rose now looks at the trade deadline differently. The trade deadline is in a few days. As I'm filming this right now, it started on Saturday, February 1st, but as this video has progressed, it is 12:02 a.m. on Sunday, February 2nd right now. And I can tell you guys for a fact that Leon Rose is looking at the trade deadline differently now, because now the Knicks are in more of a need to get a very good defender, a very good scorer. And I'll be honest, guys, I think that comes in the form of Javonte Green. The Knicks know they could trade Jericho Sims in a second-round pick or even 2 second-round picks for Javonte Green to bring him on to the New York Knicks so they don't have to deal with missing a guy who's just so vital to the team as much. Obviously, there's no way to replace OG Anunoby, and Javonte Green does not replace him. But what Javonte Green does is he gives the New York Knicks someone who they could use, who is helpful to the team, who impacts the wins positively, who just has a positive effect on winning the way that Javonte Green does. So the Knicks, I think, are going to be more pressured to make this move, and I do think it will see them move 2 second-round picks along with Jericho Sims for Green. But I'll tell you guys right now, I think if you have bought stock in Javonte Green to the Knicks, this is when this man right here, Leon Rose, is about to get you guys your money's worth. Because I think he's going to be panicked. I think he's going to want to move for another perimeter defender. Yes, this is a year for this man, Leon Rose, to evaluate the New York Knicks and see what they need in the long term with the Fab Five they have now in Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby. In those 5 guys, we're going to see the Knicks continually build around them throughout and find what they need on the bench to benefit these guys while they have this 4-year security of them, as Mikal is going to sign an extension this summer. And also subscribe to the channel if you want instantly updated news on that. We will get you guys that news. But where you look at with the New York Knicks, what we're going to see is this team make some tough decisions. I think it's going to come down to they're going to be willing to give a little bit more in their trade capital than was initially thought, because they are going to feel more of a need for a Javonte Green type, and I think it's worth it. A guy who blocks nearly 1 shot per game at 6'4", getting over a steal per game as a guy off the bench, meanwhile shooting 36% from 3, 42% from corner threes, meaning his percentage is going to go up when he's with the Knicks. I think this is the time that we're going to see Leon Rose striking Javonte Green. He's never stood pat at the trade deadline. As much as this would be the year to make the most sense, as Brian Windhorst mentioned, the Knicks trade deadline acquisition. You guys are making fun of me for saying it wrong. Might still be saying it wrong, but the Knicks trade deadline guy is Mitchell Robinson. That's what Brian Windhorst said. I think it's about to be Mitchell Robinson and Javonte Green, but I am curious about what you guys think. So let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, this video ran a little longer than usual. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is coming out on Sunday morning, so hopefully you guys could enjoy this negative OG Anunoby news as much as possible. I think we're not going to see OG for a bit of time, but I do think he'll be back for when basketball counts in the playoffs and far ahead of that as well. But you have to take a sprained foot slowly, because what matters is OG being healthy in 3 months from now, not OG being healthy today. Not that it doesn't matter, but you guys know what I mean. What matters most is OG being healthy in the playoffs. I hope the Knicks bring him back slowly. The guy's played a ton of minutes this season, and he deserves a break. But now with the injury, he's going to get one whether he wanted one or not. Hopefully he's all right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, guys, if you are enjoying the content. Have a great day. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go Knicks.